Hi guys, this is Anna from the Raven Wolf channel, and I decided to go ahead and record the chapter 3, the Galactic Masters and the Numbers of Destiny. There. I don't know, I'll just read a few pages and then I'll start the next part tomorrow, but I was just so excited to do it, so let's go ahead and start this. When we first confront the Maya, we sense their richness, yet we miss their gods, their myths, their beliefs. While the myths and stories are there, hidden in the text, peeping out from the jungle creepers, winking at us from among the brilliant flowers growing out of hewn stone. What forces itself upon our attention are the numbers. Excuse me. As we have seen, the insistence of the numbers occur in the telling of the times of origins. The numbers also speak when we read the garbled text of the prophets of the Chilam Balam, who, going into trance, speak everything in numbers: the 1, the 13, the 7, the 9, the 4. Are the numbers living? Are there entities, etheric and intangible, occupying dimensions of mind, the existence of which is unexpected by our materialistic headsets? Rubbing our eyes and clearing out heads, it's hard to believe that the whole of the story can be told with numbers. 13 numbers and 20 symbols, to be precise. And the 20 symbols themselves are they but more numbers, mask a cryptic form called hieroglyphs. Even further, how could the whole of the story, the science, the myth, the galactic measure, and the divine strategy be contained in the matrix measuring 13 times 20 units? Called by the archaeologists the soul skin, literally the count of days, or actually the count of the kin, sun, day, primary harmonic unit. The original name of the 1320 matrix is not known to us. Also referred as the sacred calendar, that Solskin appear as one of those bizarre numerological anomalies. But then did the I Ching seem any different to Leibniz, Hegel, or Jung when they first encountered it? We do know that the soul skin, what I call the harmonic module, is also the same as the permutation called the book sock. Yet when we examine permutation table as playful as it is, it's profoundly eludes us. Come now, we say, what is meant by the Mayan numbers? How can this arrangement of 13 numbers in 20 sets speak of universal resonance? Of course, the soul skin is just made of code. So is the alphabet with which we write. Yet, as we know, the alphabet encodes a language, and the person who speaks how to write the language with the alphabet, 26 letters, can command tremendous power and communicate at least a suggestion of the knowledge of the wisdom of the universe. In the same way, knowing the code language of the soul skin, the Mayan harmonic module, can open up channels of understanding and communication with equal, not greater power that is available through the alphabet. For number, not different than symbol, is a condensation overtones of meaning. Each individual number is a resonant field into itself. For it's for this reason that only 13 numbers are necessary to describe the entire complex that we call galactic being. 13 numbers, each occupying a possibility of 20 positional places, a total of 260 permutations. In order to explain and appreciate the workings of the 1320 Mayan matrix and the richness of its actual and symbol application, it may be well to get an even deeper feeling for the magical potential which the numbers have for the Mayan. These numbers, the 13, the 7, the 4, and the 9 in particular, as well as the 20, so pervade the thoughts of the Maya that it is important to understand that each of the numbers represents a multitude of qualities, and some of the qualities, like the sum of the numbers, representing that we call the world, or rather the universe. Today, we generally think that the numbers represent quantities such as 7 apples or 13 oranges, but quantification is only function of number. To think of number of harmonic qualities to analogy of music is helpful. Each musical tone may be said to represent a number or vice versa. C could be represented by 1, D by 2, and so forth. Within an octave range, there may be a set of tones, 7 to be exact. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, de, and ti. And 8 tones being high, C, or do. Damn. Each tone is given octave, has its overtone in both higher and lower octaves. The possibilities of sequences of tones, the sharpening or flattening of tones, the richness and timbre of tones, the play of octave range and harmonic synchronization of 2 or more tones are virtually endless, and yet to begin with we had only a small set of tones. This analogy demonstrates that a number representing a sensory as well as a symbolic mental qualities is vital, possesses a multiple overtone and a depth and a meaning, and is capable of expressing the whole range of universal possibilities. The analogy also shows that a very limited range of numbers can accomplish all of these ends. How long is it? Okay. The Maya factor, the qualitative harmonic functions of the number is paramount. Thus, while for us the measurement of time is the counting of sequence of quantitative units, but the days or the minutes, years or hours, for the Maya, what we call time is a function of principle of harmonic resonance. Those days are actually tones called kin, represented by a corresponding number. Sequences of day, kin, created a harmonic cycle called a vinyl, tone, katuns, baktuns, and so forth, and sequences of harmonic cycles taking a larger aggregates describe that harmonic frequency or calibration of the larger organic order. Say, the harmonic pattern of planet Earth is the relation of the sun and the galaxy beyond. Yet, to follow the music analogy, while any day representing a particular tone or a number, it's also its overtones. Properly tuned into, then the quality of the day can lead to experiences into other octaves, in other dimensions of beings. Though this view bears some of analogy to astrology, the meaning is somewhat different because the numbers are cued to galactic harmonics rather than or as well as planetary cycles. As a result of this perspective, what scholars have taken to be the Mayan obsession with time is not that all. Rather, the number sequence that so intricate adorns the classic Mayan monuments, as primary intended to describe a calibration of a galactic harmonic as it corresponds to solar and earthly cycles of time. We shall return to the implications of the statements shortly. For the Maya, then, the meaning of numbers does not necessarily come from the sequential relationship, i.e., 10 is greater than 9, nor the qualities that the sum of numbers might necessarily represent, but from the qualities derived from juxtapositions, permutations, and overtones of a given set of numbers. In other words, the meaning of a number as representative of a harmonic orders is not linear or progressively quantitative, but radially reciprocal. Oh my gosh, these words. But What do we mean when we say that the meaning of the number is radical reciprocal? Radial describes the dynamic field of radiance, of radiant quality, like Starbucks fireworks or the 4th of July. We just had the 4th of July. The idea is that each of the 13 numbers is radial, expressing its qualities in all directions simultaneously, each contained in a penetrating all the other numbers. Reciprocal means that each number feeds back to and reference by all the numbers within its self-contained circuit. A circuit describes a stream of energy whose origin and end are one. As a giant circuit, the galaxy may be represented by a set of streams of energy, each of whose radical pulses may be described by one of the sets of primary numbers. Like a circuit, each of the pulsing energy streams have a common end and a point of the origin. The galactic core, Hunavku, the circuit itself as described here is called by the Mayan Sulvaya, the current which by everything issues from and returns simultaneously forward and backwards to the source. Let us return to the Hunavku, the unspeakable brilliance galactic core, like the heart of the hurricane. Hunavku may be described as a possessing a simultaneously spin and counter-spin motion radiating outwards from the center of incredible energy that pulsates a particular rate. Let us say that the counterpoint currents of energy may be described by a series of numbers going in opposite directions to each other. Let us further say that one current pulse at frequency represented by the series of 1 to 13 and the other by pulsating represented by 13 to 1. This is, a former goes from a simple to more complex pulsation, the latter from a more complex to a simple pulsation. If we match the pulsations in the spin and counterspin currents, this is the sequence that we get. Yeah, I have a picture to show you guys. I don't know how well you guys can see it. My nose got itchy. All right, so it spins 1 through 13 equals 91. The counterspin is 13 to 1, which is equals 91. The pair sum is 14, 14, 14, 14, 14. The entire cycle of spin counterspins can also be described by the numbers representing the difference between each of the adjustment numbers of the two cycles, i.e., the difference between 1 and 13, 2 and 12, 3 and 11, etc. The sequence of the difference between the two series is described by the following set of numbers. Difference 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 equals 84. We also see the sum of the numbers 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus blah 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 plus 13 equals 91, which is also 13 times 7, while the number is the series represented by a difference of a 2 cycle equals 84. Or 17 times 12, the difference between 84 and 91 again is 7. As an even number, 12 can also be factored by 3. 3 times 4 and 84 is also 3 times 28, while 28 is represented by 4 times 7. Wow. In this example, it's interesting that 7, the middle number in each series, represent a difference of 0. Being at the center of the set of 13, 7 represents mystic fullness of potentially. By adding the two sets of 13 numbers as they are matched with each other, 1 plus 13, 2 plus 12, 3 times, plus 11, etc. It's even case the sum is 14, or 7 times 2. The total number of numbers in the spin counterspin series is 13 times 12, or 26. In this example, we see that from the galactic core numbers can radiate at least 2 directions simultaneously. My computer turned off. Hold on, you guys. In this example, we can see that the galactic core number can radiate in at least 2 directions simultaneously. We also see that the relation between the cycle and the number in each energy arm creates a simple set of reciprocal relations. It is also apparent that 7 has a particular relationship to 0, to the sum of the whole series 91, to the sum of the paired numbers of the series 14, and the sum of the difference between the series 84. If there were many 2 key numbers to emerge from the exercise, there will be the 13 and the 7. This example demonstrates that we meant by number being radically reciprocal. What appears to be just 2 lines of numbers matched with each other actually yields a magical range of permutation and possibilities, keeping in mind that the numbers represents different resonant tones, wave pulsation, or qualities of radiant energy corresponding to different centuries of mental range. We can begin to appreciate the Maya meaning of number as the active agents of the different levels of resonance. Numbers are indeed magical entities, harmonic beings that jump octaves, transforms identity, switch dimensions, and travel relentlessly backwards with the same ease that they did in the marching progressively forward. For greater detail of the radical reciprocal Mayan number code, see Appendix A, radial, and okay, whatever. I guess I can look at that. Let's see. See Appendix A, radial and directional numbers. Here, let's just go in that page. 206. So that's interesting, huh? What is it called? Radial and directional. Okay. Well, this is what that page is. I guess I can read it. My nose. Sorry. It says Appendix A, radial and directional numbers. The richness of a radially reciprocal understanding of the 13 numbers is further amplified if the individual number in the series 1 through 13 or 13 through 1 do not have a simple sequential but a directional relation to each other as well. In other words, let the first number 1 represents the east, the second number 2 the north, the third is the west, and the fourth is the south, and the fifth is the east again, and so forth. The series 1 through 13 with directional rotations will now look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 through all the way to 13. Arriving at 13, the pulsation returned to 1, while the directional notations continue where they left off, 1 through 13. In order 1 to be matched with E, again there will have been 52 permutations, 13 numbers times 14 directional positions. Let us say that the directional position have gave their own cycles to consist of 5 rounds. In the words of WS. Okay, so under the 1 through 13, the numbers, there's letters. You see? So that's what it's saying here. This being in the case a radial matrix is created in which there are a total of 260 possible permutations, the Tzolk'in, described by the spinning of the 13 numbers of each one revolving through the 20 possible direction positions. If the 13 number is each accorded particular tone quality given vibration by the 20 position, then through the possible permutation of a rich harmonic description becomes possible. The 260 unit matrix might be designed to look like multifaceted keyboard for the composition of the galactic symphony, which indeed it is. Okay, so that's what that was. So back to the book. Yeah, oh man, I don't have my drink. I'll be right back. Okay, I had my drink right here. I'm good. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue. Then I'm gonna read the rest of this page in the back, and that's it. So where's my little okay, you guys ready? That the Mayan accorded a directional significance to each of the numbers, following an east-north, west-south pattern, repeated it 5 times, contributed to the richness of the meaning of the symbolism of each of the 13 numbers. The factor result of the 20 directional positions and the 13 number, of course, is the 260 unit soul skin. If we continue to assume that this 260 unit permutational matrix is the primary matrix spun out at the corner spun back into the galactic core of Hunab-Ku, then we may also assume in one way or another this pulsating matrix, the galactic constant, will penetrate into the underlie all aspects of the galactic functioning throughout all of the far-flung star systems of the galaxy. The number and the directional position, remember, describe the total range of the tonal harmonic relations, with all of these resonance overtones and transformative possibilities. In short, the soul skin is the keyboard or table of universally applicable periodic frequency. And just as the primary galactic matrix, the soul skin is as radial and simultaneous as its core, then dissipated and distant from the core as it is sometimes seem the functioning of the matrix, nonetheless maintains its radial and subtaneous integrity throughout. Thus, as the sweeping galactic arms are described by the number moving back and forward in relation to each other, so we call time, for instance, is actually the simultaneous movement out of the back of the galactic core. Indeed, as long as we are attuned to the movement of time going only one direction, what we perceive of the galaxy and of the universe is only half of the picture. To complete this general consideration of the qualitative nature of the number in the Mayan scheme, we should not lose sight of the overtone functioning of number. The function, which is referred to the mathematical as the fractal principle, describes the capacity of a number to remain proportionally constant. Thus, 2 is to 10, what is 20 is to 100 to 200 is 1,000. Through the quantity of the number changes, the proportion is the series in the constant. It is formed the proportions, furthermore, that the whole may be reconstructed. In the Mayan code, 1 is stuck by the continuous appearance of the certain numbers in which refer to specific holographic proportions of fractals, including 26, 260, etc., and 52 and 520, etc. Indeed, it is fractal properties that the number resonates at different octaves, bringing to the sense and mental spheres higher information ranges to be decoded through cellular attunement. So we can see the purpose of the Mayan mathematic was for understanding and recording of the galactic constant, the soul skin, spinning through its endless fractal harmonics and overtones permutations. Only secondarily, this classic Mayan recording of numbers have to do with calendars. Indeed, what we find recorded on the greater stones, monuments, and certain of the extant codices or painting manuscripts is actually the skill of the Maya demonstrated in showing the relationship between the galactic harmonics and the annual cycles of the Earth, Moon, and other planets of the solar system. If it is for this reason that a place like Copan, Quirigua, Tikal, the Maya erected time mark every 5, 10, and 20 years. It was not years, but they were being commemorated so much as harmonic numbers occurring at a fractal equivalent of 5 and 10 or 20 years. Those 5 years is actually a calibration of 1,800 kin. 1,800 kin, a whole tomb is actually 25 days shorter of 5 solar years. 1,825 is 5 times 365 days. Likewise, 10 years is 3,600 kin, and 20 years is 700 and 200 kin. As a point of interest, each of these numbers, 1,600, 3,600, 7,200, possess a 9 as its base of a factor. 18 equals 9 times 2. 36 equals 9 times 4. 72 equals 9 times 8. As we all shall see, 9 is the key number related to the computations that correlates that we call time. 9. I'm a life path 9. That's funny. These harmonic calibrations, 1,800 kin, 3,600 kin, 7,200 kin, etc., corresponds to the measurements of the galactic pattern or synchronization beam. To think about this, let us imagine a beam emanating from the galactic core, like a beam from a lighthouse. The greater the distance, the wider the beam. Suppose a small boat far out of the sea passes through the beam. Even though both boats and beam are moving, there will be an interval of time during which the boat is actually bathed in the beam. So it is with the spaceship Earth passing like a boat through the galactic synchronization beam. From the perspective of the Mayan harmonic, this is 502,000 tun in diameter. That comes out approximately 5,125 Earth years in a diameter, whatever. How is it so? The commencement at our point of passage to the being corresponds to the Mayan beginning date of August 13, 3113 BC, being 5,200 tun in direction. The galactic harmonic pattern to the fractal series based on 52. Well, 52 itself is based on 26 times 2 and 13 times 4. Since 26 is the base fractal of 260, the number of the Tzolk'in, the beam is imprinted and saturated with a galactic constant throughout. Because the beam is calibrated by 5,200 tun, and because of the tun of 3,060 kin, or the equivalent of 360 days, if some 5 days short of a big solar year of 365 days. The entire pattern of 5,200 tun is actually the equivalent of some 5,125 years duration. Again, we are assuming it was not the classic Maya primary intention to record time, but to record the harmonic calibration of the 5,200 tun harmonic synchronization beam. Wow, that's pretty cool. Naturally, most Mayan scholars are puzzled by appears to be by the use of the 260 and 360 unit calendar cycle to do not correspond in any precise way to perceivable astronomic or organic planetary cycles. The reason for bewilderment lies in the fact that the 260 and the 360 units are not originally calendrical of time marking cycles but fractal, indicates of the galactic harmonic. As a fractal, 260 is actually an overtone of 26 or 2 times 13, and 360 is an overtone of 36 or 2 times 18, 4 times 9. So we see in the number 260 and 360, the Mayan factor numbers are 4, 9, and 13. Okay, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to mark it because it's a lot of numbers going on, huh? I hope it's not confusing for you guys for me to be saying it. But this chapter seemed to be one, two. Maybe I'll just do one more video and we'll finish the chapter 3. So I hope you guys enjoy. And oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys this picture. This is the great cycle as Baktun synchronization beam. But anyways, you guys, I will see you guys sometime tomorrow. Have a good night in Lakesh.